Hey guys, Shannon here. It's Thursday, so that means, of course, that it's Teen Thursday, and we've got all your new YA releases that you just have to have here that we're going to talk about today. Really excited because there are some books that I've been waiting a long time to hit the shelves coming out this week. So if you didn't make it in on Tuesday, don't worry, I've got you covered. Here's everything you need to know. First of all, if you were a fan of Geekerella, which you probably were because it was amazing, you probably know that Ashley Poston has a new book out right now. This is an amazing sci-fi adventure it's kind of like this is what the girl in Geekerella, like this is what the fans of Geekerella, this is the kind of thing they would obsess over. Ashley just like wrote a book that her own characters could obsess over, and it's wonderful. Heart of Iron. This is backwards. This is it. So Heart of Iron. This is Ashley Poston's new book. She was actually at the Texas Teen Book Festival, so if you were here, you might have gotten to meet her. She was wonderful. A lot of the Teen Press Corps got to do some interviews with her, and they really enjoyed getting to know her. But this book, it's an awesome, like, out there sci-fi adventure. We've got a 16-year-old girl who's basically like Han Solo herself. She's kind of like outlaw by nature. She's one of those awesome people. Are you coming to join me?
I guess so.
Come on in, guys. Grab and share. So I'm gonna pop this book over. I think you can fit behind here too, and I can make some. Guys, it's Eugenia.
Hi.
She does all the kid stuff. So, and she's got all the cool events that you guys get to come to. So, if you've ever been to an awesome like kids or YA event, this woman right here probably made it happen.
And thanks for coming.
And thanks for coming. So yeah, so I was just talking about Heart of Iron and how excited I am about it, and it's funny because I actually got a copy, an advanced reader copy for a friend, and got Ashley to sign it for her, and it's still sitting on my bookshelf.
Oh.
And so it's like she's probably actually went out and bought the book today,
now, yeah.
like on Tuesday.
You should still give it to her.
Oh,
It's a signed copy.
totally, yeah, because it's a signed copy and it's got Ashley's name in it, so who doesn't want that? But yeah, I basically was talking about how the main character is kind of a Han Solo kind of character, where she's like a rebel who's out there doing her own thing, and
Sounds like Shannon. Sounds like a Shannon book.
sounds like a Shannon book, and she's got, I mean, at this point, there's all these like Android type people. I feel like we've been on an Android kick in YA because last week I think I talked about like 3 Android books.
Oh my God.
And so, but yeah, they lost ship, missing coordinates, like ruler of the, all of the things you need in a sci-fi YA. Love story, because Ashley's really good at those.
That's
So
awesome. Have you already talked about this?
I just started, so go for it.
Well, no, like I haven't read it, but I want to read it so badly. This is People Like Us by Dana Meal. Is that how you say your name? I'm so sorry that I am not saying it correctly.
Noise really fast, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. But apparently people are comparing it to like Pretty Little Liars. It's a psychological thriller, and that is all, like, that's just my thing.
Pretty Little Liars. If anything
yeah.
compared to Pretty Little Liars,
I'm
you're
like,
in.
yeah, but anything like kind of creepy and eerie and like schoolgirl related, or right now I'm reading a galley of Kara Thomas's new book, The Cheerleaders, and it's so good. I've literally kind of been like taking tiny reading breaks at my desk and reading it, because any type of like teen psychological thriller is just like I'm obsessed with. So I think this is gonna be my next YA read. So yeah, I'm really excited about this release.
So are you a big fan of Ellie Carter and like the heist books and stuff?
No, should I read them?
Yeah, I mean it's another like prep school kind of
Yeah.
like
Anything that's like creepy and it's gonna make me feel like someone's watching me, I love that stuff.
That's kind of, I guess this one would be a good one to bounce to from there. This Heart of Mine, it's kind of like a horror meets that movie Return to Me that came out a long time ago, that nobody on the internet probably remembers. Yeah, it's a really, really old movie. It had like Minnie Driver and David Duchovny. Like that's how old it is.
Old.
That like those those were the hot people of the moment, and it didn't even do well then. But in that movie, Minnie Driver needs like a heart transplant, and David Duchovny's wife dies at the beginning, and she gets the heart transplant, and then he like falls in love with her, and then he realizes like she has a heart. So this is kind of the main character in this book needs a heart transplant to survive, and she gets a heart and she finds out it came from a boy from school, and the rumor is that he killed himself, and she starts having all these crazy dreams. Like, when I originally started looking into this book, I assumed it was going to be in the contemporary section, because I was like, oh, heart transplant, she needs like a thing, like it's going to be a cute love story, and then I couldn't find the book, and I was like, where's the book? And then I realized it was in the sci-fi fantasy section, and I was like, oh, where does this go?
Yeah.
And so she starts to have all these crazy dreams, doesn't know what's going on, and she finds his twin brother, Matt, and she starts talking to him about, like, the dreams, and he's like, my brother didn't kill himself, and so they actually have, like, it's like a thriller of, like, they've got to figure out what actually happened to this boy.
Exciting.
Using, like, the weird dreams she's having because she has his heart inside of him. So, totally took a different turn from where I originally thought the book was gonna go.
Also, like, teaches you literally never to judge a book by its cover, because I would have never thought that.
Cutesy. I would have thought cutesy. I would have totally never assumed that this was a psychological thriller with a horror twist kind of thing.
So interesting.
I don't know. But then if you look, like, the heart's like got stitches on it. It's like sewn back together. I mean, still, again, I thought it was a cutesy contemporary. Totally shocked that it wasn't. Have you read what this is about? A girl like that?
I think so.
So I have pitched this book to the Teen Press Corps like at every meeting, and I haven't even read all of it yet. I just was skimming it and was like, oh my gosh, somebody in the Teen Press Corps, I need you guys to fall in love with this book and tell me that it's like as good as I think it's gonna be, because it's one of those, like, you don't want to get involved with a girl like that kind of thing. She's the kind of girl, like, you know, she dates the wrong people and she's involved with the wrong thing, and then she ends up like murdered. And they have to, like, there's the religious police that are involved, and it's like, it takes place in Saudi, like, she's murdered in Saudi, and they have to figure out, like, what happened to her, and there's, again, this huge, like, investigation. We're really on, like, a mystery case
I'm always on
way, and I'm loving it.
I think I remember Megan or Kids Buyer being really excited about this, and she brought a galley to one of her kids' meetings, so, and Stacy scooped that one up. I remember now.
It's one of those, like, that's great because it's an own voices, it's dealing with the race issues, it's an amazing thing, and that's, like, in the Teen Press Corps, that's, like, all we talked about, like, since the beginning of the year, is we've just really been really, really pushing, like, the own voices category, and actually, one of our Teen Press Corps members just did the March Book of the Month. She picked the Poet X. And she actually wrote a slam poem.
I know, it was so good. Like, you guys need to pick up a copy of our newsletter, or you can go to the, is it on the Tumblr?
It's on the Tumblr, it's also on the blog, either one. But
she wrote a review in the form of a poem, and it's so good. Pretty talented people.
It's so amazing, and it's great because, like, when she... Like, I didn't even wait for her to ask if she could read it. I just, like, slid the book in front of her, and I was like, the March Buzz book is yours, Boomy, because you are a slam poet. You, like, are, you know, like, you're into that. That's your thing. You have to read it. And I was like, and it's about a black girl, like, who becomes that. And she was like, mine. Like, she was like, anything that's, like, cultural and poetry, like, she was, like, fighting for it. And she was so excited. So.
I'm glad she ended up liking it.
Oh, yeah, she loved it. And she couldn't stop talking about it. So that's going to be a great one that we're gonna have to really, really cover. What is the next one? Oh, yeah, Test of the Road. Have you heard anything about Test of the Road?
Yes.
Did you already read it?
I have not read it. Oh my god, like, I wish I could read everything. I know that Tomoko, our art director, was excited about it, and she really likes Serafina, so we might have to put this in her hands. What do you know about it?
I mean, exactly that. Like, if you're a fan of the Serafina series, like, you're gonna love it. But in this one, it follows a girl who doesn't really fit into any of the categories of that world. Like, she's not going to be calm. She's not a man, so she's not a warrior. She's not a dragon. She's not a submissive woman. And they want her to become a nun, and the day that she's supposed to do that, she chops off all of her hair, puts on some boots, and goes, like, full Mulan, like, and goes on an adventure, like, pretending to not be a woman.
That sounds awesome.
So, again, one of those things where I'm like, yes, this is my one. A lot more fantasy. So if you're not into fantasy, that's the thing. But, yeah, I was like, I mean, it literally
Yeah.
talks about like the
Yeah.
medieval kingdom, and I was like,
Yeah.
that's not you.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm considering in April for Reading Without Walls challenge, just trying to read more YA fantasy because it's definitely a gap. Like I don't dislike it, but it's just something that I don't really pick up that often. You know this. Definitely more kind of like realistic fiction or even nonfiction before I do YA and sci-fi. I mean, fantasy and sci-fi, but I'm gonna try.
But you are a Game of Thrones fan.
Love Game of
So
Thrones.
maybe
Yes.
maybe this is where you start. Maybe
Okay.
this is like your bridge from Game of Thrones to YA
Maybe.
fantasy. Because
Maybe.
instead of going to sci-fi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely Reading Without Walls or Reading Across Walls. That's a
Reading Without Walls?
Yeah, I was like Reading Without Walls.
Yeah.
Whichever one.
Yeah, it's like a reading challenge, and we're gonna do it again in April. And it's basically just like try to read a book that you wouldn't ordinarily pick up, whether it's like a character that looks differently from you or lives differently, or a genre or a format that you don't ordinarily read. So like
my challenge was to read anything by or about an adult last year. I was like, oh, I don't know if I can handle that.
Yeah, or I remember Megan last year. Her challenge was more graphic novels, just anything that you don't usually tend to pick up. And mine this time will be more YA fantasy.
Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna say I might try that adult thing again, but
no, go for something else.
Yeah, I was like, I don't really know, but I mean anything. I mean, for me, it'd probably be like nonfiction because I don't read a lot.
I just read the 57 Bus, which won the Stonewall Book Award, and it was so good.
Yeah.
And I had heard about the case like when it happened. The authors Dashka Slater like wrote an article about it for the New York Times Magazine like in 2015, and so I just read the book like 2 days ago, and it was so good, and it was like a page turner, and it was really hard and difficult. But I do read nonfiction, but I don't usually read teen nonfiction, and it was really great. So I suggest that one too if you're into nonfiction books.
The only nonfiction that I usually end up reading is like essay collections. Like I really love Here We Are. Like Here We Are was great. It actually like I was going to do book talks on Here We Are like for like just the idea of like the feminist empowerment.
Sure.
And then I read the one about the likability complex. And,
I remember this.
And we
had a whole conversation because I was like, Rory Gilmore, I really don't like her, even though that's like my favorite show, and blah blah blah. And we had this whole conversation about it.
And like I was like, wow, you don't really expect like you go in like for this reason and you come out like completely like. And I feel myself still doing it like when I'm reading like a book with a female character. If she makes a decision I don't like, I'm like, is it because she's a female character? Or is it like I have to stop and like think, and like I bring that up all the time with the Teen Press Corps. We'll like start talking about books, and we're like, okay, but now you have to go back and like look at it, and are we just like judging them for that unfair standard? And I mean, a lot of times we are, and a lot of times they're Rory Gilmore. So
I feel like it happens to me a lot more with like TV and movies than with books.
I agree.
Because I feel like with a book, like you really get to know the character. You have more time with that character, and so like I don't know. It's just like you feel more of a connection, and so. And with a TV, like or a movie, you're so quick to judge because you only have a certain amount of time with it.
And you can see their mannerisms, like and everything, so you feel like you understand the motivation behind it a little bit more. Which, I mean, segue, big one. If you're looking for females who you will love and who are absolutely empowered and strong, just because they're empowered and strong, go see Black Panther. Weird movie I know sounding to like say like go for female empowerment, but the female empowerment in that movie is some of the best I've ever seen.
I'm hoping that at this point, like anyone who's watching this has already seen Black Panther.
Yeah,
probably multiple times.
I posted a video today that Jimmy Fallon did where he was people come into a room and they think they're talking to a poster of Chadwick, but then Chadwick comes out, and it was absolutely great.
So cute.
I love the guy that said he was like, I've seen it twice, and then once again on bootleg, and Chadwick comes out like, what are you doing bootleg in my movie?
I know.
The guy's like,
I saw it, but yeah, definitely the female characters in Black Panther are amazing, and I'm obsessed with Danai Gurira. I was most excited about her because like Michonne forever.
Right.
Love her in The Walking Dead, so I was very excited to see her in another like kick-ass role.
That's like my thing. Like I leaned over in the middle of the movie and I was like we all know Chadwick's a badass, but like I can't even see him right now because she's on the screen. I can't see past her.
I
Like,
know.
he's got nothing on her, and I
Yeah.
was like, I'm sorry, like, you're the
Yeah.
king. I
And
appreciate
Letitia
that.
Wright, like she was hilarious
So
and
great.
so good and smart, and I love it. Anyway, let's
Yeah.
go back to books.
Yeah, because we'll do this
Yeah.
forever. The end of the Ever Life series. I'm gonna knock everything down, but if I can reach over here, yeah. This is the end of the series, and I know everybody. You can actually see on the back of the book. Everybody in YA fantasy or sci-fi has recommended this series at one point or another. I think the most recent one was like for this particular book was Sarah J. Maas. So like.
Yeah.
I don't know how I can't sell better
Yeah.
than she can. Like if
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, you should read this book," then you
Okay.
should probably
Yeah.
just read the book. Like nobody's gonna sell a fantasy book better than her. And but yeah, if you've been reading the series for a long time, it's one of those that's finally coming to an end, and it's I mean, Gina just makes like really good series. I was a big fan of the Alice in Zombieland series because I love Alice in Wonderland and I love zombies, and it was like the combination of like everything you could possibly love. And I mean, for fans that don't read, like if you're watching this and you don't read YA, that's a good crossover because she does do adult literature as well. So like you can kind of feel a lot of it hits that middle ground. And then where I live. So last week I actually talked about I think 2 books about homeless kids, or there's a book at least. Yeah, I think there was one book about homeless kids, and then another book about abusive parents. And this book actually brings both of those together. Where I live is about a girl who is actually living in the halls of her high school. She's been living in them. Nobody knows she's there. Like, and then one of the popular kids in school comes in one day with a black eye, and she lives there, so she sees this girl trying to cover it up in the bathroom before anybody else gets to the school, and she realizes this is like an abusive family. She's in one of those situations, and that's why that girl like ended up where she is today. And so she starts trying to help her, which kind of puts her ability to live in the school unnoticed and nobody noticing her in jeopardy. And so it's kind of a like, does she save the other person or does she save herself? And it sounds like it's an amazing thing. I love that we're taking these topics to teenagers in YA, and that we're getting more and more realistic with them. I think we just had in the fall, we had a huge discussion in the Teen Press Corps about social consciousness and awareness and the author responsibility to bring that to all age levels and do it in a way where it doesn't glorify the bad issues, and but it makes you talk about them, and it makes it provides an answer in some way or a conversation that leads to an answer. And it's really great to see that more and more of these books are starting to come out and that these conversations are happening. Which I guess leads to Farah coming to the store in March because 12 Steps to Normal, which I've been reading, and I've actually talked to several. 12 Steps to Normal is about a girl who, at the beginning of the book, she lives with her aunt in Portland, and then she gets sent back home because her father has been released from rehab, and he's an alcoholic. And when she gets home, she finds out that he had secretly allowed everybody else that got out of the AA program, the rehab program, to come live in the house as well. And so she's not living just with her alcoholic father, she's living with a group of alcoholics. And she's trying to deal with how to get her life back to normal, as well as like not have her dad get sent back to rehab or get in trouble or her get sent away because she's been away from her friends, her like boyfriend, all this stuff for so long because she got sent away. She's trying to build her own normal life and deal with that. So it's kind of like she has to follow her own like 12 steps to finding her normal life. And this is a great conversation for teens, and that was, I believe, Farah said that's why she wrote it, was there wasn't a lot of books about teenagers who had alcoholic parents. And
which is super common.
Super common.
And we're really excited about Farah. She's a writer for BuzzFeed, and she does a lot of like YA and BuzzFeed books, and she's really talented. And like it's super common and like something that I personally had to deal with growing up. And it's good to see like these issues that are very, very real go into books, but also like never in a way that like talks down to teens or like anything like that. So we're excited about that event. It's March 20th at 7 p.m.
And then 2 days later, we're all back to those fantasy fans.
March 22nd, very exciting.
Thunderhead. I was just talking to one of our Teen Press Corps girls this morning. I was like, guess what I have on the shelf for you on Saturday? She did an excellent review of Spice, which was the first one in this series. It was funny because, again, the problem I have with running the Teen Press Tour is they write these reviews that are so good, and I'm like, guys, I don't have time to read all of these books that you're reviewing. And they send me these reviews, and I'm like, yes, I really want that book.
I know. We really wish that we could read all of the books.
All of the books. And so that was this one, like, Evelyn sent in this great review of Scythe, and then she was like, she showed up like 2 days, like I think we had a meeting like 2 days after she did a review, and she was like, did you get my review? And I was like, don't talk to me, because I don't have time to read that book, and you wrote this review that I was like, she's like, but let me tell you about it. And I was like, no, don't talk, you're done. And so I've been teasing her because she's been waiting for this book, and I have one on the shelf for her, and I'm like, guess what?
Oh, that's so exciting. So yeah, we're so excited to welcome Neil Shusterman back to BookPeople. He's been here before, and it's always like such a joy to have him here. So March 22nd, 7 p.m., the Neil Shusterman is going to be here.
Yes, Heather just commented that Neil Shusterman is a literary god.
Okay, agreed.
So yes, he will be here, and then we have Fair a couple days before that, and we also don't we have another.
We have Carolyn Cohagen, who is a local author, and it's very exciting. It's March 24th at 2. And she wrote Time Next, which is the follow-up to her book Time Zero. And it's also like sci-fi. Yeah, it's more like sci-fi. But yeah, she has like a big audience here. It's very exciting. And that's the same day as the march. So we like, of course, encourage like all young people, everyone to march. And then if we want to come to an event at BookPeople, we're going to be here afterward. So we're excited about that one. We love supporting our local authors.
Absolutely. And then the reason that Eugenia really wanted to join us today is starting on the first Wednesday it'll be the first Wednesday of every month, so starting March 7th, which is next Wednesday at 7, we're going to be doing a book club called Second Star to the Right, and that is a book club for people who never want to grow up, literally speaking. Or literally speaking.
Literally speaking. And literally, because paying bills is terrible.
Literally, it's horrible. You have to grow older, you don't have to grow up. But we are going to be doing that. So for any adult who enjoy reading YA, if you're watching this, you're probably who we're talking about. We are going to be doing a book club just for you guys.
And for us.
And for us, because really, like, it's for us. And so we're starting with Dumplin'! Getting excited for the movie, getting excited for Puddin', which we've actually both read, and we can't talk about it, but it's amazing.
It's so good.
I actually was like, I have to reread Dumplin' before the book club, so I don't go in and just be like, but let's talk about Puddin'. I was like, I'm rereading Dumplin'. Yeah. But Eugenia's here to tell you guys that she doesn't get to come to the book club, and we're doing Dumplin'.
I know. I'm so annoyed. I stupidly got married on March 7th 4 years ago. And so it's my anniversary, and I can't attend this book club meeting. I mean, I'm pretty sure that it would be fine, but we already made dinner reservations, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, I was so annoyed. I was like, why did you have to schedule the first book club meeting in which we're going to talk about one of my favorite books of all time, Dumplin' by the amazing Julie Murphy? But yeah, I just wanted to be here to be annoyed, basically.
I sent out an email the other day, or yesterday, that was like, this is what time, and this is what I'm going to talk about, and I was like, you guys want to jump on the live stream? And Eugenia was like, I would like to come and talk about how I'm mad at you for all of the internet to see. And I was like, that's fair.
Yeah. But anyway, guys, like, we'd love to have you at the book club. Even if I'm not going to be there, I'll probably be at the next meeting, and obviously at the one whenever we discuss Puddin', which is amazing. And it comes out in, I want to say May.
I wouldn't say May as well.
I think May.
Basically, we'll just have a Julie Murphy book club.
We'll just have a Julie Murphy book club. We'll read Ramona Blue at some point.
Maybe next month.
Maybe Hope Nation, in which Julie Murphy has a little.
Which I was gonna bring a copy up here, but I didn't see one down there.
We forgot. We might have sold out.
We might have sold out already. But Hope Nation, it's all about inspiring YA authors went in and wrote stories about hope and how they got through different things and how you can get through different things. And it's teen nonfiction, essay collections, so that's why I was like, I was going to talk about that. Because
and then we got derailed a little bit. But we always come back to Julie Murphy.
It's always. So Julie Murphy, if you're watching, just know that we're going to just start, we're just going to change the name of the book club to the Julie Murphy Book Club, and only read things. Now I really do want to, I'm like, now I really have to be mindful that I don't make Ramona Blue the April book. Because we need
I have a lot of other suggestions for book club that I'm really excited about.
A lot of suggestions for book club. So definitely can't wait for that. So Lots of new releases, lots of amazing events coming up, and of course, it's March now. So I know.
When did that happen?
When did that happen? Hey, but it feels great outside,
yeah.
so I'll take that. But March is Women's History Month, so each week not counting today because almost all of my authors are already female. And we had a lot of really great female titles. For the rest of the month on Thursdays, on the Teen Thursday blog, and then on here, we're going to talk about like one of our favorite YA female authors, which I mean, just to throw out there, like we could use, we basically just made Julie Murphy our YA female author, but actually, to add another Texas Jennifer Matthew. If you guys have not read Moxie, make that your Women's History Month kickoff book, because Moxie is about a teenage girl who gets tired of the men in the school getting to get away with pretty much everything. And for all of my teens watching, it takes on the dress code issues that schools have, because in the book they constantly pull the girls out of class and say that everything they're wearing, like they just do random dress code checks and they'll be like, oh, your shirt's too short. Or you're wearing a tank top, so you're out.
So many times being sent home because my skirt was too short. I went to Catholic school. So
I went to a public
That's a lie.
school.
I didn't go to Catholic school. I just wore that little checkered skirt that makes me think that I went to Catholic school. I was like, wait a minute. I
didn't actually do that. That's a lie.
But I grew up in Mexico, so same thing. It's fine.
So I'll go for that.
It's fine.
I went to a public school here in Texas, and we had to like raise our arms. Raise your arms like this and stretch up. And if your shirt showed your stomach when you did that, they would make you go home and change. And I was like, first of all, this is high school. Yeah. Stupid. Second of all, I'm not walking around like this like all day, so it doesn't really matter. If you raise your hand, you might distract from one of the boys wanting to answer the question.
Oh my God, boys will get distracted no matter what.
I was like, they're not paying attention, and they're also not going to answer the question in the first place. Like, it's fine. I'm in class with these people. I know that they're not. But so in Moxie, the girls get tired of that, and so one girl starts a zine, just like in the 80s, like the Riot Girls did, and she like kicks off this huge revolution, and it starts to belong to all the women of the school. And what's really great is I posted a picture of it on Instagram when I read it, and I posted like my little mini review that I do, and this guy that I don't actually know commented on it and said that his girlfriend chose that book for their book on tape for a trip, and he saw the cover and was like, oh God, this is going to be horrible. And he was like, by the end of the book, he was more into it than she was. God. And he realized, like, he recognized himself in what the main male character who is not one of the like major a-holes in the book. And so he was like, I recognize that, like, and so I realized like even if I wasn't like part of the problem, I wasn't being part of the solution. And like now I want to like do more stuff. And so that is your book to kick off Women's History Month, is Moxie by Jennifer Matthews, who's also a Texas author. And wonderful. So pick that book up because you'll love it. But yeah, that's all I have. Do you have anything else that we're missing that we need to add?
I don't think so. I'm just excited for March. Lots of great events, book club, anniversary, etc.
Awesome. Well, until then, I'm going to fly these books over without trying to knock them over. Until then, we will see you guys next week. Check out the Teen Press Corps blog. That will go up for Teen Thursday today, and then you can find the Teen Press Corps and all of their reviews on their blog and their Tumblr anytime. So just click through the BookPeople page, and you'll find it on the Teen page.
Yeah, and we're also going to be doing a lot of social media posts today for Teen Thursday, so follow us on Instagram at BookPeople and Twitter at BookPeople as well.
Yep.
Bye
guys.
Yippee!